right, welcome back. This is part 2 of the lecture that answers essential question number 6. What are the classic forms of government, and what characteristic of the state is used to classify them? We've already discovered that sovereignty is the characteristic of the state used to classify these forms of government. And the question that's asked is, who holds sovereignty, or more specifically, how many people hold sovereignty? So we began by discussing autocracy, which means one person holds sovereignty. Our next category is oligarchy. Oligarchy. And this comes from two words. The root of olig means few, small, or little. And the root word of archy means rules, or to rule. So, in an oligarchy, a small group of people rules. And we have 3 types of oligarchies. We have aristocracy, we have theocracy, and we have timocracy. And we'll talk about all 3 of those. In an aristocracy, a small group of families leads. A small group of families leads. And under this form of government, power is inherited, just like it is in a monarchy. In a monarchy, one family leads, and one person in that family is the ruler. In an aristocracy, a small group, several families work together to lead, but again, power is handed down to children within the family, not outside of the family. Power is inherited. And in an aristocracy, the ruling group holds both sovereign power and political power. The ruling group holds sovereign power and political power. And again, sovereign power means that nobody can tell them they can't be the rulers anymore. And political power is our governmental powers, legislative, executive, and judicial, to actually run the functions of government. All right, so that's an aristocracy, which is a small group of families. Then we have a theocracy. And the root word theo means God. And so this is run actually by a religion. In a theocracy, religious leaders rule. So a small group of religious leaders. An example of this is in many Muslim states. For example, Iran. Excuse me. The leaders are the leaders of their religion, which is Islam. So the Muslim leaders actually also run the government and the whole country. And power is passed through religious rites. Power is passed through religious rites. So you have to be a member of the religion, and you have to be a leader in a leadership position in the religion in order to rule a theocracy. And again, in a theocracy, just like in an aristocracy, the ruling group holds sovereign power, and political power. No one can tell them they can't run the government, and they have the powers to complete the functions of government. That's the difference between sovereign power and political power. And our third type of oligarchy is called a timocracy. And in a democracy, the military elite rule. A small group of military leaders, or sometimes police leaders, but it would be, some kind of force, military force, police force. And in this type of government, power is passed through chain of command promotions. Power is passed through chain of command promotions. So you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Lieutenant, major, colonel, finally up to general, and the top few generals are the ultimate leaders of a democracy. Now, the way I can remember a democracy is my husband's name is Tim, and he's a policeman, and he's in the military. He's in the Army. So if he was going to be in charge of a country, the type of government would be a Timocracy, just like his name. And again, just like the other oligarchies, the ruling group, which would be military or police personnel, the ruling group holds sovereign power and holds political power. They make the laws, they enforce the laws, they interpret the laws. And that concludes our lecture, short lecture on oligarchy.